poll on Tina Talks Credit last week. We wanted to know what were the main concerns of all of our viewers as it relates to credit repair. So I'm going to start from the top, guys, and I'm going to bring it on down, and hopefully this will answer some questions that you might have. All right, so let's get into this. First question: if the debt is legit and accurate, can I still dispute it or get it removed? Yes, you can. You can still get it removed because you can still challenge the validity on it. Okay, yeah, so you owe the debt. Yeah, I get it. Most people do owe the debt that's actually on their credit report. But the question is, how is it reporting? I mean, everything has to be accurate across the board, right? So you have to learn your Metro 2, because Metro 2 codes are really going to help you put some oomph and some spice on your disputing so that you can call out the right fields that are required that are missing. You would not believe how many Metro 2 codes that are required to be reported on the account that are not reporting in the wrong place. That's all kinds of stuff that goes on. There's like 70% discrepancies on these credit reports out here, and it's probably getting higher. I haven't checked lately. So yes, dispute. It's all about disputing the validity. It's about what they can prove. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying scapegoat out of like what you owe. I'm saying let's get it off your credit report. On the back end, if you wanted to go make it right with the creditors, you can still go in and settle the debt and get the debt paid. So this ain't about skipping out on debt. This is about fixing the credit report. Okay? So next question: how many times can I dispute the same item, and does the clock reset? So the person says, I'm currently on my third round waiting for a response. I have sent them letters from Chase and the payment history. Okay, so if you're on your third round and you've already sent the credit bureau's letters from Chase concerning your payment history, like to update it, then what you need to be doing for that third round with that letter from Chase, which is your supporting documentation, is taking that dispute letter, making sure that you create it and make it into an affidavit of fact and truth, list all the facts on it. And then, matter of fact, turn it into an affidavit of fact and truth, and make sure that you put that you are intending to sue whatever credit bureaus who are wrongfully reporting this, and you have supporting documentation from Chase. Okay, it don't get no better than that. You could even file a FTC fraudulent reporting complaint and add that in as your supporting documentation too. That's fraudulent misrepresentation all day. It ain't nothing like having a creditor send you out your correct payment history. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of their problems. But even if you don't have the creditor backing you with the correct payment history, that is still one of the best ways to dispute. So I would take it up to the fourth round. I usually don't have to dispute things like more than like 4 times. Usually I'm at like 120 days. That's my usual. I'm not saying I never have to go past it, but usually that's where we kind of fall at. So I would say don't sit up there and dispute something for like a year. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just going to start getting those cookie cutter verified letters back. They're not going to be even paying you any attention, honey. So make sure that you're being very strategic with your disputes, filing your CFPB complaints as well, especially once you're escalating. It does really help, and it adds more value to your actual complaints, if that makes sense. Now, question number 3. Which route is better? Dispute with the credit bureaus or dispute or pay the collection agencies or original creditor? Okay, listen, if it's on your credit report in a collection and if it's not a medical bill, you can't just pay it and think that they're going to delete it. The only thing that the creditors or collection agencies are legally bound to delete if you do pay are medical bills. Okay, so for me with a collection, I usually don't dispute the collection with the original creditor, because usually they've sold or either hired out or contracted out the collection agency. So I'm going to go straight to the collection agency, and I'm going to dispute with the credit bureaus. Usually on the first round, I'm going to do a 609 letter of validation, not verification. There is a huge difference, okay? And I'm going to go over discrepancies. A lot of times we'll use FTC as fraudulent misrepresentation, not saying that we are experiencing fraud or identity theft. That's not what we're saying. We are challenging the validity of the account on a contractual basis because we never signed a contract with this third party who's coming at us for money. So that way we are actually filing a FTC report legally. And our verbiage states that in our actual dispute letter. So we're not saying, oh, this ain't mine. That ain't what you do. It's not right. So yes, collection agency, dispute with them. Now, number 4, what steps should I take by mail? Certified, online, or online only. What are the pros and cons? Okay, so this is my experience with certified mail, and this is just because I've been doing this for so long. I hate certified mail. The only time I send certified mail, because it's $5 per letter, and when you got 100 people that you're sending out in one day, that's a lot of money to be wasted only for the credit bureaus to say, oh, we're not running your disputes or send you back a stall letter. That's just wasting postage. So if I'm doing anything certified to a registered agent or to a compliance manager or to the legal team, and it's like a legal documentation that I'm putting in there, like the affidavits, then I will do certified, okay? Because I want to be taken seriously and I want to be able to track that as well, because then I'm building up for a case. Other than that, certified doesn't serve me here. But, to each his own. Now, online disputing can be definitely helpful. I've gotten plenty of things deleted from online, so I don't knock it. Honestly, I say incorporate both in your disputing, especially if you're a dispute company. It works. Now, number 5, guys. What about medical debt removal? New rules, how to use them. So medical debt removal, I treat that literally when it's in collections with the third party, which it always is. I treat it like any regular collection. I don't care if it's 120 medical bills because you were in a motorcycle accident and didn't have insurance, or if it's a $35,000 rental debt bill. It's all third party, no contract with you, third party. Delete this off my credit report. And honestly, guys, with our company, we're getting about a 92% success rate in getting those deleted. So honestly, check out the videos on Tina Talks Credit here, or if you're interested in learning how to dispute further, go to disputechamps.org, guys. I got some good stuff on there. We are really amping it up and putting even more on there, and it's very affordable. Okay, so next question. This is number 6, guys. How do I handle identity theft? Someone opened accounts in my name and it's now on my credit report. Most of the time, and this is just me speaking to you, with men, usually it's like their ex-girlfriends who go and do it, because you know how the woman usually ends up with all the man's personal information and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it's just interesting. It's an interesting fact because I just do this, okay? So identity theft is just that. It's straight up identity theft. So by law, if you dispute identity theft and you send in your FTC identity theft report along with a well-structured dispute letter explaining the situation, outlining laws and things of that nature, and even a police report, by law, they have to go ahead and immediately take it off your credit report. Now, what messes people up is when they're lying, saying that they're in identity theft, right? But they're not. So just because they go ahead and take it off the credit report, guys, does not mean that it's deleted and gone and they're not still going to investigate, because they still are going to do their investigation. And that's why a lot of people who use identity theft as their only means of disputing collections get reinsertions. It's just because of how you're disputing, guys. They're still going to investigate. So make sure you have your stuff trump tight. So back to the question. So usually with identity theft, stuff is going to come off your credit report. You're going to be good, especially if it's true identity theft. If you're having problems getting something that's truly identity theft off your credit report, I highly suggest you just go to Dispute Champs and take the course, because I don't have a lot of time to answer the full question and go into strategy and stuff. But yeah, it can be done, and sometimes it is hard because there's so many false claims going in now. But so yeah. So question number 7, if I send a letter with multiple accounts and multiple reasons, is that effective or frivolous? So, If you send a dispute letter, let's say you have charge-offs, collections, a payment history, all kinds of just different hodgepodge of different accounts that you're disputing, I wouldn't do that because it's just so generic and templatey. You know what I'm saying? It's like you ain't really putting a lot of effort in this. You're just listing 10 accounts on one dispute. That it's not frivolous at all. You know, that's the answer to that question. And is it effective? It can be. You can get some things off. I'm not knocking it, but that's kind of like shaking the tree at first to see what falls off. It's really not too much strategy you can put behind a dispute letter that has multiple different accounts. You got charge-offs, you got late payments, you got collections, bankruptcy, all that stuff in one dispute. It's not a lot of strategy and thought that you can put in there and It's individualized disputing is best when you can do it, but at most that I would put on one dispute letter is 2 to 3 things, and it has to be in the same category. I don't just dump a bunch of different stuff that are in different categories on a dispute letter. That's just like me. No, I don't do that. So I don't think it's a good idea. All right, question number 8, guys, and this is the last question. I thought I had 10. Anyway, question number 8. Does paying or settling a collection charge off guarantee removal of the item from my credit report? And how do I negotiate pay for delete versus just paying? Okay, first of all, no, of course, it does not guarantee. And no, they are not going to remove anything that you pay as far as a charge off account. It's not going to just come off your credit report. What happens is that the next billing cycle, it will show up as a paid settled charged off account. And then what you'll need to do if you just want the account to appear negative, you'll go back and you'll dispute 3 things. And that's in Dispute Champs course as well. You'll dispute the account status, the payment status, and the comments, because those are going to be the 3 things that are making the account look negative. Hence, they are more likely to change how they're reporting that charge off once you send in your dispute letter, outline it, and show your proof. They're more likely to delete that and just make it null, hence making your account never to have ever even appeared to be negative in the first place than to delete. But no, they won't delete that. But you know, there's ways to get it to report positive. We do it all the time. And so it's just about thinking outside of the box when it comes to your disputing. This was fun, guys. I think I'm going to do a live. If enough people, if you want to type in the comments live, do a live. Just type the word live in the comments, guys. I will come on and do a live, and where you can lively ask me whatever questions you want, as long as you're respectful, okay? And stay on topic. We're talking credit. Put live in the comments, guys. I'm happy to come on live and answer some questions. This is fun. Like, I even want to come on live and do like credit prayers too. Like, I'm just, you know, just fully just giving it to Jesus, you know, with this business. And like I always say, this isn't just a business, it's also a ministry, because we're ministering to people. Ministry is just ministering and helping people, and that's what we do. And so yeah, we're going to come on live and do a whole lot of new things to just open things up more, and also for you guys to get to know me as a person more. I'm feeling drawn to that. I'm feeling like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And so guys, we'll talk soon. Until the next video, type live in the comments if you want me to do a live question and answer. All right, guys. Bye.